Next up, he's former All-American offensive lineman in Michigan, a native of Troy, Wisconsin. He's in his third year at LSU, serving as Assistant Director of Football Operations. 1992 Michigan graduate, 4-year starter at guard for the Wolverines, part of 3 Big Ten titles, All-American as well in 1990, drafted by the Pittsburgh Steelers, and of course, the LSU Tigers right now ranked 8th in the country after shutting out UL Monroe 31-0, and they will host Mississippi State in the big SEC contest this Saturday at Tiger Stadium. Please give a warm quarterback club welcome to Dean Dingman of LSU. Dean?
Thank you, Ken. It's a pleasure to be back here at the quarterback club in Greater New Orleans. You know, I don't know why it's a quarterback club though. You know, there's only one quarterback that goes out every series to play. You know, there's 5 offensive linemen. You can't have a club with 1 person. You can have a club with 5. So, you know, I mean, maybe for today we'll make it the offensive lineman club. On that side.
Have a big enough ego to cover the room.
There you go. There you go on that side. So, it's amazing now. I'm starting my 4th season. It seems like just the other day that drove from Newport Beach, California, out to Baton Rouge on that side to join Coach Miles' staff. I've known Coach Miles since 1987. I was the first player he ever coached at the University of Michigan. Some people know that on that side of it. I was an offensive lineman. He was just got hired by Bo Schembecker to be the centers and guards coach at Michigan. So I never met him through the recruiting process. Now everybody talks about recruiting and the demand put on recruiting and getting to know your coach before you go there and everything. So I had never met him, and we're still together today on that part of it. So it's been a great relationship for both of us on that side. And, you know, I've been very fortunate to the 3 seasons that I went through here at LSU, to just incredible experiences. From the first year being 13-0, undefeated season, playing in the national championship game, to winning 10 games a year the last 2 years. So we're really set up and very fortunate to be at LSU in such a great program. I think the great program always comes from leadership. Our new president, Dr. Alexander, has really got a great vision for the whole university, what he wants to do with it. He wants to accentuate the positives, build up the reputation, and make it one of the top universities in the country, and let the rest of the country know how great LSU is on that side. Our athletic director, Joe Oliva, has done an amazing job of giving us everything we need to win, and commitment to winning, but also giving back to the university. It's unprecedented the amount of money that he has given back to the university for academics. You don't see that at other major universities on that side. And then the leadership of Coach Miles. Coach Miles is the winningest coach since he's been at LSU. There's not another SEC school that has won more games than us. So I think it's a testament to all 3 of those factors, from the support from administration to then Coach Miles. Coach Miles has done a great job. One of the best things he does is manage people. He's done a great job interviewing and hiring a staff that is outstanding. We lead the country in players in the NFL. The reason that is it's a great recruiting area, but also the coaches have to recruit the kids, but they also have to develop them. When we lose so many people to the NFL, nowadays it's about playing freshmen, but it's also about developing players. Players forget that these kids are coming in as freshmen, and they can be big and strong and talented, but there still is a huge learning curve there to develop kids. And as we've been able to go through the season, at the beginning of the season here, we're 3-0, off to a very good start, but we've been very fortunate that we've been able to develop some of these young kids that are now getting ready to play in the SEC. And when you look at the SEC, there's no debating how tough it is. Everybody talks about scheduling, and there's a lot of talk about the Big 5 conferences and scheduling and scheduling and scheduling. Well, as I looked at last night, the AP, 5 teams in the top 10 in the AP are from the SEC West. You don't get a more tough, dominant conference than the SEC West. So when you look at that, then you look at in the last 7 BCS games, 7 SEC West teams have played in there. Obviously there was one year Florida did, but we played Alabama, so how that works out on that side. So there's no denying that the SEC West is the toughest conference in the country. As we get started in our conference play now going forward, Mississippi State, who's 3-0, a lot of sports prognosticators all said pick them to be one of the surprise teams to maybe represent the SEC in the championship game. And when you watch them on film, you can see why. They're a really well-coached team. With that, they have a really big, strong, long front seven on defense that really gave us some fits last year, twisting, turning, doing a lot of unconventional things on that side of it. So the offense will really have its work to get out. And then on defense, they're led by just an outstanding quarterback who can run and pass, and he's from the state of Louisiana. I know when I played at Michigan, when we went back to play at the University of Wisconsin, 2 out of the 4 years I was the MVP of that game. And I say that because what it does is when you go back to play your home state, you focus. And Mississippi State has quite a few guys from the state of Louisiana on their team, and you're focused in practice, you're focused all week long, and there's something about it you really want to show well in front of your friends and family from your home state. So I'm sure we're going to get his best on this Saturday. With that, we really got to bring our lunch pail to work, and that's one of Coach Miles' strengths. Is he has a saying that we do hard things, and with that, we really do practice hard. We still, in this day and age of limited scholarships and attrition to the NFL, we still really believe in practicing hard and improving. It's interesting as there's high school coaches here, and you hear different things, and the great quote from Allen Iverson who talks about practice. You're talking about practice. Well, somewhere along the line, practice got to be something that you just go through. You just get it over with to go through and get to the games. And as the coaches are here and everybody else know, practice is to improve. Every one of our team, our players today, should be better after practice than when they go into practice. And I think that's the development of our coaching staff, the great coaching staff that Coach Miles has put together with developing different players and developing the situations that they're going to need to be prepared to play this week. And as you guys saw last week, Coach Chavis on the defensive side of the ball, I don't know if I've ever been around a more dominating defense. When we went into halftime, they had 44 yards of total offense. It was an amazing job on that side. So with this week, we get into our SEC schedule, and it's time to turn it up a notch and see what we can do. Any questions? Go ahead.
Mike Cotillier, very local sports journalist. He ran and raved last night over Mississippi State's front defensive Sept. What said you?
Well, that's what I talked about a little bit earlier. They are outstanding. They are outstanding. Most of them are back. They lost a linebacker and one defensive lineman, but they rotated a lot of guys in there. They are big. They're long. Very tough players. We're going to have our work cut out. The good thing is we have a very experienced offensive line, so it's going to be a great challenge for them because they gave us a lot of trouble last year. I mean, we broke some really big plays. We had some outstanding individual performances, but their front seven is outstanding.
Was it injury-wise?
We're really good on that side of it.
Anyone else?
You touch on something that I'm gathering from you, and I may be putting words into your mind. You played for Coach Miles, so you've had a long, maturing relationship with him. Can you touch on what your vision of loyalty is for you and how that affects what he does?
Well, he is a very, very loyal person. I think, no, that's all right. I think the really truth of it is, and what draws people to Coach Miles is, he's a people person. There's other coaches in recruiting. There's every coach hangs their hat on something on that side of it. Coach Miles is a real person. I mean, you hear it in his press conference. He's not structured all the time on just giving canned responses. He's a real person, and when you get to know him, there's a genuine, real person inside that he lets out, and you get to experience. And I think that's what recruits and parents really like about when they meet Coach Miles that he is an authentic person. He talks about his family all the time. You know, he talks about his boys playing football, what it means to him. His daughter is a swimmer on that. So he's very authentic and genuine. And I think when you're genuine, that breeds to other people, and people can see that that's what you're about and how your makeup. And so we have had a great relationship for a long time. So, any other questions? All right, well, thanks a lot.